Hey everybody, I just want to let you know I'm actually interviewing Quarantine Tutors. They are actually a organization that we use for tutoring that we found out about in August, and just want to let you learn learn a little bit about them. If you get a chance to go to their website, the tutoring is free, started by a high school girl named Julia and brought in by Betty or Betsy. Okay, and this is their team of students, Julia and Betsy. Okay, and these are all the people that they work. They volunteer to teach to tutor students. Okay, from pre-K all the way up to I think high school year. Okay. So you're gonna get a chance to hear about them and learn about them, and this is an amazing group of organization that has been really my kids have been using them. Okay, so I look forward to having you listen to the interview. Okay, everybody, I have Julia um, Schnipper. I'm sorry if I killed your name.
It's okay,
Of
Schnipper.
quarantine tutor, Schnipper.
Mhm.
I have with me Julia Schnipper of Quarantine Tutor. She actually started this while she is still in school, and it was actually started to help tutor students. I want to let her explain it. So Jill, where exactly are you from?
So I'm from New York. I'm a
Okay,
suburb outside of the city, and I'm a junior in high school.
you're a junior in high school, and when you started Quarantine Tutor, how did you come up with the idea?
So basically, as soon as the pandemic hit and school went all virtual, I have a younger sister who is in second grade. She's 8 years old. And I started to notice how difficult online school was because we had never done something like it before. And I was having a difficult time because all of the teachers were adjusting, all of the students were adjusting. But I noticed my younger sister, who is 8 years old, was having an even harder time because young students can't really navigate through Zoom, through all of these online platforms when they don't have experience with this technology. So I started to see how like stressed she was about all of this new fangled like technology that she had never used before for online learning. And I realized that with my free time that I had gained, I had to do something to help. And so I proceeded to come up with an idea. And I was like, why don't I? There's definitely other students her age who have similar issues with the online learning. So I thought, why don't I put something together, gather a few friends or family members, and have them start tutoring younger kids to help them with this adjustment. And that's how it started.
I tell you, I'm glad I found you guys. I think it was August I signed up. Both my kids have been in your program, and that's like, I mean, they will actually look forward to actually tutoring from your tutors. They really enjoy it. So, so what are you offering? What are you offering to your kids right now?
So all of our tutoring is 100% free. And this was a main goal of mine because I knew, especially in the beginning, all of the so many like the unemployment rates were going up like never seen before. And I didn't want anyone to have to stress about economic difficulties because tutoring is often very expensive. So
Yes.
that was one of my main goals. And we have stuck through that goal. And we also offered many summer programs. I don't know if your kids were involved in that. We had different Zoom classes like magic classes and art classes and fitness classes, and we hope to continue that next summer too.
Wow.
But during our actual school year, we have regular tutoring. We tutor from preschool students up until high school students, and our tutors consist of high schoolers and college students. And
Okay.
we tutor every subject imaginable, including some extracurriculars like coding, speech, and debate. We also do standardized test prep, all for free.
Wow. Uh, what kind of challenges have you had with the with your business?
So, in the beginning, I started by reaching out to my friends and family through like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, just local neighboring states.
Okay.
And when Quarantine Tutors was in its beginning stages, it wasn't that difficult to stay on top of everyone. But then I wanted to make it more globalized, and I started having those friends reach out to their friends and so on. And then I started spreading the word, and then I like made a website and everything, and I really utilized social media platforms and different local news channels. And when I used that, it started to spread, and there were all of these tutors that, of course, we have an interview process, but then it started becoming so big. Now we have over 300 students, where it's just very, it's like I can't have a direct control over everyone. So we have had to make systems and sort of like industrialize everything in the sense where we have a specific process, we have a specific presentation, we check on our tutors, we have these forms they fill out. And so I guess the hardest part was in the beginning, figuring out and balancing exactly how we would maintain this all of this growth.
Did any adults come in and help you, or you just ask your friends, ask your colleagues around you to help you?
So
Any
no,
adults? Yeah,
yeah,
teachers.
no adults have helped
Wow.
us. However, one of my closest friends, Betsy Harris, I brought her into it in the beginning because we both started a club at our school. We started a
Okay.
local UNICEF chapter. So I knew we both worked well together, and we had worked for like UNICEF since it's a nonprofit. I knew that we would mesh well and be able to branch this out. So she helps me a lot. And we also have some of our other tutors help us in different aspects, but we have made this completely led by like me, Betsy, high school students, like no adults.
Wow, I am so proud of you guys,
Thank
honestly.
you.
Um, boy. So since you guys been starting, it's hit just about a year, right?
Almost. We started, so I came up with the idea a couple weeks after like quarantine. So, but we actually really started tutoring probably in towards the beginning of April. So almost a year.
Okay. And how have the students? Have you heard from any of the students' parents or anything?
Yeah, so we have a ton of testimonials. We have get emails constantly, and
Okay.
the most rewarding portion of this is when we hear emails from parents and they're like, I have like a full-time job. I have nobody else to watch my students when they're at home all day long with online school. And not only have they learned so much from this and it's a free platform, but it also gives them something to look forward to when everything else is canceled. It gives them something to do, something to keep them occupied, and something to keep them ahead in school. So all of these comments, like people have said, like during this dark time, this has brought light to our children's lives. Like all these comments are just so rewarding, and we constantly hear it with all of our students, and it's just the best part of doing it all.
I tell you, my kids, I don't know if they look forward to it, but the thing is that when they're on it with you guys, with your tutors, they are just so focused,
Mhm.
and it's about the only writing that they're getting,
Yeah.
because they're not getting any other writing,
Mhm.
or so. What motivates you, like every morning? I mean, to is there something that motivates you? I,
Well, I think always I've been a very hardworking student, and I always set my goals very high. That's
okay.
always, I believe, the biggest source of motivation. And if you set your goals as high as they can be, then you're going to every morning be desired and have motivation and incentives to work. And even if it's just little goals, even if it's like any like future career that I want to have, or anything, or any like schooling, just anything I set as my goal and I work towards that, and it serves as motivation.
Oh, you are doing a lot more now than I've seen even from other kids. I mean, you reading any kind of special books besides your school books?
Not really, just like in this moment, just because I have a ton going on as a junior. I'm doing like standardized testing myself. I
Okay.
just took an ACT last weekend. So
Wow.
it seems difficult to balance, but I use this as like in my free time. Like when other kids are watching Netflix, like doing
Yeah.
anything they would do in their free time, this is what I enjoy. Like I loved making the website. I had never done that before. I played
Wow.
around. We actually just came out with an application on iOS, so we haven't announced that yet to our tutors and students because we have to finalize everything, but it just came out 2 days ago in iOS. So very happy about that. And all of these little adjustments, everything has gone far beyond belief. I thought this was going to be small, yet we've been on USA Today, ABC News, NBC News, a ton of other, like Disney Channel as well,
Wow.
everything. And it just has really like expanded beyond belief.
Wow. I mean, I'm just yeah. I'm really grateful. Uh, do you have? I mean, for the tutors that come in, for the tutors that my daughters have had so far, I mean, they seem like they are well trained.
Mhm.
Do you guys have? I mean, what kind of training program did you put them through? Or I mean, I can't believe that they came out and they're like, oh, okay, I know how to tutor,
Yeah.
because they seem very professional. They know how to work it.
Yeah, so basically, we anyone that is interested in being a tutor, we let them be a tutor. We just have to find their specialize like what they can specialize in. But whenever we interview someone, we have an interview process. We have this extensive presentation where we go through where we tell them examples, show them resources for tutoring, train them exactly how we want them to tutor, and we are very organized. We have Google Classroom pages where we have them fill out a form after each tutoring session, explain if anything went wrong. We check in on our sessions, and we have all of this going on. However, we trust our tutors a lot and give them a lot of flexibility. So we don't deny anyone a tutor. If they're interested, we let them continue and we just find what they're good at. If we have a ninth grade tutor, they obviously can't tutor other ninth graders, but they might be best at like kindergarteners or second grade math or something like that. So we try to find what they have mastered and try to use them. And all of our tutors have different skills. Like we have tutors tutoring different languages, coding, as I said before, other things. So it just depends on the person itself. But we put a lot of trust into our tutors. And whenever we find a problem, if we hear any complaints, which isn't very often, but if we do, then we always work that out, Betsy and I, and we try to figure it out.
Wow. Um, is anybody in your life that inspires you, or people?
Well,
Or
as I said earlier, my younger sister, that was like my
younger
main
sister?
source of inspiration because when I saw she was struggling in school because she
Okay.
didn't know how to exactly navigate Zoom, navigate all of these online things, she's used to a teacher in elementary school telling her directly what to do. That was my main source of motivation.
Okay. Not just for this business, but for in life.
Yeah. Oh, in life, both of my parents
Okay.
definitely are a motivation. They both are very hardworking and they've set many goals for themselves as kids and have achieved them. Like, for example, my father, he has, like, since middle school, has always wanted to be a doctor and he's always, like, worked very hard. And through, like, hard schooling and everything, he's just persisted and now has like the life he wants and like is a doctor. So it's just setting these goals. Like, that's exactly what I was saying before. That's my main motivation.
Oh. Let's see. So, how are you advertising your service? Just
So
mostly through social media, like you said?
So I started when I started, I reached out to friends and family, like I said, and I
Yeah.
emailed local schools, like local preschools, elementary schools, libraries, everything. So that's how I started on like a small educational standpoint. And then we created our website. And then once we started getting more and more students, then I emailed other schools, like Long Island schools and all these like
Wow.
everywhere. Like the amount of emails I've sent, hundreds probably. And then once we started to gain publicity, we started out small, like local news channels. And then when we started to be on national news channels, after all of these endeavors, we would get so many more students. And so now it's just word of mouth. Now, we don't do much advertising. We don't, because we are not making any money from this, we are not we're putting in tons of time, but we are not putting in any advertising money. We're not buying any ads. We're only doing what comes natural to us, like when we get an offer to go on any sort of news platform. So that is like our main
Oh, I'm so grateful for you to be on here.
Thank you. And also we volunteered for there's some programs like Volunteer New York, Volunteer Match. We've made profiles on that. Like we've just utilized everything possible
Wow.
other than paying for advertisements because we really want this to be natural and for this to just be like out of like selflessness.
Thank you. Give some. I guess I'm almost running out of question. I got two more. Like, is there like a morning routine that you do? I don't know if you as a
Mhm.
student yet have developed any kind of a morning routine yet.
So it changed, of course, when school went virtual, but of course, during the day, like I wake up before, do my school classes, but a routine that I've actually stuck through since quarantine is right after I have like hours of Zoom classes, hours of school. Once it's all over at like 3 o'clock, I always go on like a 45-minute to hour long walk
Okay.
outside, even when it's cold. And this has really helped me because, first of all, when I'm home all day doing virtual school, hours of computer time is not good. I need some fresh air. I need some break from screens. It's also a good time for me to just think. It's sort of like mindfulness, get my ideas together before I come home and do my homework.
Okay. What do you see yourself in the future? Where do you plan to go?
So,
If that's too, well, I'm not sure if that's too early to ask.
So I'm not sure yet, but I definitely want to do something with business. This has made me realize how much I love business, all of the mechanics of it, reaching out to everyone, starting something from scratch. And so I know that's very ambiguous, but anything involving that. But also, I'm very into STEM, like I'm a science math person. So, but I don't I don't see myself as a doctor yet. I see myself incorporating both STEM and business into some sort of career in the future.
Okay. My last question to you: I'm sure someone who's going to be watching this is going to be inspired to watch this. What tips would you have for someone else who wants to start something similar to this?
Mhm. So I would say definitely utilize everything that you have access to. Start just like how I did. Start with your friends, your family, anything, and it will just branch off exponentially by there. If you start with 5 family members and you have them each reach out to their neighbors, each reach out to whoever, that will be how it expands. And I think it's all about determination. I never thought it would expand to this extent. However, I hoped that it would. And because of that, I like always reached out. I put in a lot of time and effort. I believe that whatever you put a ton of time into, it will eventually work out. So that's the main thing. You can't get lazy with this. If you get lazy, it's not going to work out. This is just all about putting in the time and effort. And if you do, then it will work out. And if you keep reaching out, somebody's going to respond. Like I reached out to tons of news sources, everything. I thought nobody would reach out, and one day someone did. So it's all about like the work ethic.
So you got a lot of rejection. You thought this was going to be easy, that this was
Yeah.
free, that someone would actually take you up on it, but you actually like it, like everything else in life. They just said no, not interested.
Yeah. And eventually one person did, and that's how I branched off from there.
Um, I guess a couple of other questions that came up. What is the for the students that you guys are tutoring now? Is everybody only in the U.S. or is it Canada, UK?
So I don't know the exact numbers. However, I do know we have some students in other countries as well as
Wow.
tutors, but the majority of our students are from the United States, and we tutor every state, like not just New York. This is not just the tri-state area. We have so many students from all over, including our tutors. And like I said before, we have some college tutors, some high school tutors. It's a really diverse. Everyone comes from different economic backgrounds, different races, different everything. So it's just a whole melting pot of students and tutors, which makes it very unique.
Okay. I appreciate your time. I'm going to end this conversation. Stay online.